Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rav Eliezer Melamed Shlit. I hope everyone had an enjoyable Shabbos and weekend as we get ready to begin a new week of Torah study and inspiration. The last we covered was the custom of Avelos during the period of Sefira, the mourning customs. We looked at an overview. And the next thing we're going to look at is exactly when are these mourning customs observed. We're going to see there are different customs in different communities, so let's get right to it. Zmane minhagei ha'avelos. Minhagim rabim hayu legabe zman ha'avelos. V'nazkir es arba'as ha'ikarim. There are many customs as far as when the Avelos is observed, the mourning period. He says, let's mention the main four opinions. Number one, minhagei ha'avelos nimshachim b'chol Sefirat Ha'Omer. There are some that observe the mourning custom for the entirety of Sefirat Ha'Omer. Uminhag zeh mevusas al girsas haGemara shelefaneinu, and it's based on the Gemara in Yevamos that says shetalmidei Rabbi Akiva meisu mipesach va'ad atzeres, that the students of Rabbi Akiva for whom we are mourning, in most part, that they died from the period of Pesach to Shavuos. Ve'im kein yesh linhag minhagei avelos b'chol hayamim ha'elu. And since we take the Gemara at face value, and since they died during this period, then we mourn the entire period. That's opinion number one. Opinion number two, Minhagei Avelos nimshachim ad Lag BaOmer bilvad, that we only observe the mourning customs until Lag BaOmer. V'zeh al pi ha'masores hayidua, and this is based on the tradition that is known, shebeLag BaOmer Pasku Talmidei Rabbi Akiva Lamos, that Lag BaOmer was a significant day, the 33rd day of the Omer, because that's when the plague stopped and the students of Rabbi Akiva ceased from suffering and from dying. That's why Lag BaOmer is always a celebratory day. Certainly, this is probably the most widespread custom where people hold until Lag BaOmer. The third opinion, Min Hagei ha'avelos nimshachim ad Lad BaOmer, Lamed Daled BaOmer, that the customs of mourning, they continue until the 34th day of the Omer, and it's slightly different than the previous one. It was 33, this is 34. V'zeh al pi masoras Sefardit, lefia gorsim b'Gemara, shetalmidei Rabbi Akiva meisu ad peros ha'atzeres. And this is mostly in the Sephardic tradition, and the way they understand the Gemara is the Gemara says that the students of Rabbi Akiva, they died until peros ha'atzeres. What is peros? Peros is lashon chatzi. Peros is a language meaning half. Hainu ad chatzi chodesh lefnei Chag HaShavuos, until half a month before Shavuos. Kishenavchis marba'im v'tisha yemei Sefirat Ha'Omer chamishim asar yom. He says that when you take from the 49 days, a half a month, 15 days, yashiru shaloshim v'arba yamim shebehem meisa talmidei Rabbi Akiva. So if you take out half a month from 49, 15, you're left with 34, and therefore those 34 days are the days of dying, Bahem Noagim Minhagei Avelos, and those are the days in which we observe Avelos. May not seem like a big deal, but for a lot of people, if you don't have the Lag BaOmer ability to celebrate, you have to wait one more day. And finally, the fourth main opinion, Noagin Shloshim Ushlosha Yemei Avelos. We actually observe only 33, not 33 consecutive days, but a total of 33 days of Avelos, and Vizos al pi ha'masores, shetalmidei Rabbi Akiva meisu b'chol hayamim she'enim yichadim l'simcha b'meshech Sefirat Ha'Omer. And this is based on the tradition that the students of Rabbi Akiva only died on days that there were no simcha, shehem shloshim ushlosha yamim, that there were 33 days. Ukenegdam tzrichen linhag avelos b'shloshim v'shlosh yamim ritzufim, and based on this, we have to have avelos for 33 continuous days. Ve'ein zeh mishana imiyu betchilas Sefirat Ha'Omer o b'sofa, and it doesn't matter whether it's the beginning or the end. Again, very, very technical types of things, and some say, how do we account for the fact that the beginning of Sefira, certainly the first week of Sefira, is basically Yontif. It's Chol HaMoed and the second days of Yontif. And we have other opinions as well. So we have just laid out for us the main opinions of when we follow the Avelos of Sefira. We could spend a lot of time, he writes about Minhag Yotzei Sephard. It doesn't necessarily apply to most of our audience, but we'll see certainly what happens for Minhag Ashkenaz. So according to Minhag Ashkenaz, Minhag Yotzei Ashkenaz, Hirvach Yom Be'eretz Yisrael, Bishlav Kama Mesoros. He says, as far as Ashkenaz goes, again, which is now extended into Israel to a lot of communities, this is different opinions. Ikar minhagei avelos nimshachim ad Lag BaOmer, miksasim nimshachim achar kach. Most hold, if you would ask what's sort of the mainstream normative opinion, it's that we hold Sefira until Lag BaOmer. And this is based on what we mentioned earlier, that the plague stopped on Lag BaOmer. Lefichach, ad Lag BaOmer nogin shelo lihistaper v'lo lisaish v'lo lilagen l'rekod ve'ilu achar kach nimnam rak minisuim v'simchas gedolos. Some have the opinion that until Lag BaOmer, we don't have a haircut, and we don't get married, and we don't have live music and dancing. However, even afterwards, people would not partake in weddings or huge gatherings of simcha. V'od tam shebe'es masayat slav v'moras tachvatat nitzuchu melis alfei Yehudim b'nei kilos Ashkenaz. And as we mentioned previously, that during this period there were the episodes of the Crusades and also in Tachvatat, and therefore we don't have major simchas during this period. Aval me Rosh Chodesh Sivan. However, once we get to the month of Sivan, which is the month of which a few days before Shavuos, many will allow even a wedding. Because certainly the first 6 days of Sivan, we have Rosh Chodesh, we have Shloshes Yimei Hagbala, we have Shavuos, that will abrogate and nullify the customs of Avelos. And some are more makel, are more lenient, and they could say you can have a wedding even after Lag BaOmer. By the way, this seems to be our practice. We don't make a wedding until Lag BaOmer, but after we could. However, only just sort of optional simchas, one that are not mandatory for a wedding or something like that, but if it was something else, just a concert, we wouldn't do until Sivan. Uviyom Lag BaOmer atzmo, what about Lag BaOmer itself? You can get married, you can have a haircut. What's the status of the night of Lag BaOmer, meaning going into Lag BaOmer? Some say that even on the night of Lag BaOmer you can have a haircut and get married. Because the entirety of the day of Lag BaOmer, of the 33rd day, is one of Simcha. Some say you have to have 33 days consecutively. And only once we get to the actual daytime of the 33rd, where we say part of the day has been observed, and much like in Avelos, on the last day of Shiva, let's say Lo Aleinu, we only observe part of the day because part of the day is considered like the entire day, so therefore we have to wait till the morning, and only then can you have a wedding or take a haircut. One should try to wait until Lag BaOmer daytime to have a wedding. He says, however, if it's not possible for whatever reason, we could be makel, we could be lenient. Certainly, on the night of Lag BaOmer, we can have different types of dances. Again, these are very, very technical laws. Any specific questions, of course, you should ask. But we're going to see now in the next chapter, what about actual making engagements or weddings? When can we do it? And we'll talk about haircuts, etc., and lots of other fun things. So I hope everybody has a great week. Thank you so much for listening. As always, as I mentioned previously, sponsorships are available if you'd like to dedicate a shiur, a week of learning, Leili Nishmas, or to celebrate someone. Please do let me know, and we will see you here again next time.